Deka.
おまんら許さんぜよ。
If you were a fan of the live-action Sukeban Deka series, at the time of its airing, you would know that the success of the popularity of Sukeban Deka 2's live-action TV series outshined the currently ongoing Sukeban Deka 3. The people at Toei, the studio behind the Sukeban Deka series, would find themselves wanting to gain the momentum of the Sukebans prior. To help with this, it was decided that the first feature film, the Sukeban Deka movie, would be created. To help with familiarity with fans of the previous series, they would get the girls from Sukeban Deka 2 to appear and star in the film, while getting viewers familiar with the newer Yui Asaka, who stars in Sukeban Deka 3, hoping to recapture the hearts of old fans of the show. Together, they would be pitted against an evil organization like no other. I'll be talking about the general plot of the film, and should you be watching this video without having seen the movie for yourself and wanted to avoid spoilers, please watch the movie before watching this video. Otherwise, please stick around for the Sukeban Deka movie retrospective, where I'll be giving insight to how the movie was made, the actors and actresses that are in the film, and more behind the scenes details. Sukeban Deka the movie takes place directly after Sukeban Deka 2, where Saki has stopped needing to be a special agent and has returned to normal life, preparing for her college entrance exams, bumping into a young man named Kazuo Hagiwara, who was escaping from a group of assassins coming for him. Saki then learns of Sanko Academy, which is a private school on a remote island known as Hell's Castle. Kazuo tells Saki that the school is not only corrupt, but has students attending Sanko that are being trained tirelessly in dangerous situations, seemingly preparing them for war. It was clear that Saki had stumbled upon a secret paramilitary organization, and that organization planned to take over Japan. Learning this, Saki has a strong sense of justice to get help from Okyo, Yukino, and the newest Sukeban Deka, Yui, and joining along is one of the sisters of the students from Sanko Academy itself, Megumi, and together they would fight to free the students at Hell's Castle. Let's talk about the actress who made both her acting debut and film debut in this movie, Ayako Morikawa, known at the time as Ayako Kobayashi. In the Hyogo Prefecture, she was born on September 17th in 1969. Kobayashi would find herself to play Megumi in the Sukeban Deka film. In a combination of luck and talent, she was selected to be in the film due to winning an acting contest. Kobayashi was a high school student who loved watching movies and reading detective novels. Her sister recommended her to try her hand at auditioning in the nationwide Sukeban Deka movie contest, which was held from September to November 1986. After passing the initial document screening on September 25th, Kobayashi advanced to the Kansai Regional qualifying round on October 11th, and then eventually the final round on November 2nd. She won the Grand Prix overall, even won a Photogenic Award out of 78,000 applicants. After graduating high school, she worked as a model for posters and campaigns in the Kansai region before retiring from show business when her contract expired. Kobayashi would still make a name for herself, however. It would just be outside of the entertainment industry. From her experience from a call center, she's learned that she loved creating fans from voice alone in the faceless telephone world. And using this quote as a foundation, she established a company called Smairu Koshi, where she would train participants about smiling, communication, and improving teamwork throughout Japan, with over 450,000 people attending the lectures. Shinobu Sakagami, born on June 1st, 1967, is an actor, director, rock singer, and YouTuber from Suginami, Tokyo. Sakagami got his start in acting as a child actor and was seen at the time as a child prodigy. Everyone seemed to agree that he had a bright future. His future may have been bright, but his childhood sadly wasn't, as his father, who was a writer, had his publishing company go bankrupt from a combination of boat racing craze and an unfortunate gambling addiction that left him and his family with debts. The young child acting prodigy was exposed to gangsters regularly collecting debts from his years of elementary school to junior high. When Sakagami became 15, his parents got a divorce and he went with his mother. Despite all this, he continued to work as a child actor to pay off nearly 100 million yen in debt, which adjusted for inflation is 433 million yen or 3.2 million 2023 US dollars. Suffice to say, Sakagami had a lot of work to do, and as he got older, child acting fell out of favor with him, switching to become a rock idol and directing his first films and becoming a YouTuber under the Sakagami family channel in 2021. Sakigami's biggest love in life is being with dogs, commonly adopting old dogs that need help due to their old age. This can be easily seen in Sakigami's YouTube channel, and the link will be in the description should you be curious. Also, if you happen to see the Japanese versions of Angry Birds the movie, he actually plays as Red in both the 2016 and 2019 films. Playing the role of Megumi's brother in the film, Tetsuya Sugimoto, born on July 21st, 1965, who was known as a genuine delinquent in a motorcycle gang. For example, when he was 16, he got involved with a group of delinquents in a shopping district at the west exit of Yokohama Station when Yoshiyuki Arashi, who was part of a Japanese rock band at the time, had intervened to stop the fight. Sugimoto was a big fan of Arashi, quickly forgetting what the fight was about, and enthusiastically talked to Arashi as the band was looking for recruits. Surprisingly, this became his entry into show business. When he finally got his start in the show business, he would eventually win the 1984 Japan Academy Award for Best Newcomer for a role in the film Hakujasho, where he played a son for a Buddhist priest, where he famously shaved his hair for the role. Satoru Umurota, under the alias of Masato Ibu, was born in Tokyo 1949, although he would mostly live in Mito City, in the Ibaraki prefecture. Ibu had a strong desire to become a movie star. Ibu would luckily find a section in the newspaper talking about auditions from the NHK Nagoya Broadcasting Station. Determined to make a name for himself, convinced that this was what Ibu wanted, he dropped out of high school to return to Tokyo to pursue becoming an actor. However, after a year, he would drop out of the theater company he was with, and after would enter a training school for actors, but after 6 months quit there too. Ibu was once told that, "You have a good voice, but that's the only good part about you." He didn't really know what to make of that. However, that didn't stop him. So wanting to make acting work, he moved to another more recently created theater company with his friends. Ibu would find life difficult during this time since he had lived in a 3-tatami room with a shared bathroom while only making a living by carrying scrap metal at a construction site in the daytime, apparently suffering from hemorrhoids. He would eventually audition to become a radiocaster on Sadao Watanabe's radio program, which was a jazz-focused radio station. Despite not being knowledgeable on jazz, he was accepted to do appearances on the program, and through that worked as a commercial narrator. An easy example would be his appearances in the commercials of the various Mario Golf games. He eventually got recommended to do work as a voice actor through the connections he made as a radiocaster, and he would soon become President Dessler in the Space Battleship Yamato series, and eventually he would lend his voice to appear in Ni no Kuni. To bring the topic back to the Sukeban Deka movie, Ibu would be chosen to play as the main antagonist of the film. The design for the main antagonist was created by Yutaka Izubuchi, who is an anime mechanical designer, special effects character designer, and anime director, illustrator, and manga artist. He's been involved in tons of Japanese properties such as Record of Lawless War, Super Sentai, and as you can probably guess, Gundam. Born on December 4th, 1969, this idol, personality, and actress, Aki Nishikawa, formerly known as Aki Kawasaki, although better known nowadays as Yui Asaka, born in Miyazaki City in the Miyazaki Prefecture, Yui Asaka plays the third Sakuya Asamiya in the Sukeban Deka film and in the third iteration of Sukeban Deka 3, Sukeban Deka 3, Ninja Girl Romance. Asaka was just a normal girl, destined to be a star as an upcoming actress and idol. In 1984, Asaka entered the Scout Edition 84, which was sponsored by Shoujo Comic. Notably, shoujo is the genre that the Sukeban Deka manga falls under. And she would win the Asaka Yui Award, which was named after the heroine of the manga Shooting Star. From this big win, she decided her stage name would be Asaka Yui. Surprisingly, Asaka had no interest in acting, but still flirted with the entertainment industry anyways. In 1985, she moved to Tokyo after graduating junior high and became an assistant on the TBS live broadcast program, Expo Scramble, and through her connections from there, eventually debuted as a singer with her single Natsu Shoujo. She would release 5 singles and 1 album, having her song Christmas in October ranked number 88 in the Oricon chart at the time. And now we get to the star of the movie, Yoko Minamino. Before the movie even hit theaters, due to the popularity of Minamino herself, it is said that the film had sold 10,000 tickets in advance, although it should be noted that it was a double feature, along with a Taiwanese movie called Kung Fu Kido Koshoko, or Kung Fu Kid. Those who can recall the first day of when the movie was first aired, it seemed that primarily boys of junior high and high school students crowded into the main theater of the Toei Theater branch. the reaction to Minamino's popularity caught the attention of Shigeru Okada, who was Toei's president at the time, and decided that Minamino's next 2 films would be at Toei. That said, to successfully walk the tightrope that was the combined life of an idol and actress, Minamino had to work hard. Minamino was so successful that actors in the same films that she was involved in were reluctant to work with her, since anything that had Minamino involved felt catered to her too much. For example, some actors said that the schedules felt that it was centralizing too much around Minamino. Toei staff eventually felt the same sentiment about working with Minamino. Soon after, she took time off of filming due to an illness, and despite plans to get Toei filming Minamino as soon as everyone was available, after a plan fell through to make a film starring her, Toei would eventually stop plans to film with her again. This wouldn't last long though. They would work with her again in the 90s. For an action movie like Sukeban Deka, there's a ton of explosions, so there must be more safety precautions, and things get right. Explosives must be timed to the scene's needs. Interviews coming from the Sukeban Deka movie book can give us more of an idea of what they were working with. For example, Sakagami had his first experience using an explosive jacket for the film. It's a harmless effect and there's no pain, but there was pressure to get it right. Luckily, Sakagami gave a wonderful performance for the film, even making Minamino reapply her makeup as she cried from it. Sugimoto's character, Megumi's brother, and victim of Hell's Castle experiments, the makeup behind his role in the latter half of the movie reportedly took 3 hours. A staff member in the book saying, "It may not be as good as A Nightmare on Elm Street or The Day of the Dead." However, they liked it overall, and in the end, they stated that it looked very realistic, especially with the lighting. Yukino's actress during the rehearsals infamously had a hard time not being able to stop laughing at the scenes that she was performing. There's not much information on Okyo's actress, however, she's reportedly seen talking to the staff playing with a yo-yo in her off time during filming. Asuka's signature gauntlets were relatively fragile, so they were moved from location to location in this toolbox. During a filming session in Daimei Mining, which is in the Saitama prefecture, fans had actually came to see the filming take place, and had Yui Asuka do autographs, which she enthusiastically did. What's interesting about this is that there's no bus or means of transportation to get to that particular spot they were filming at, so fans really had to go in their own ways to meet her. Even the now experienced Minamino was nervous for the filming. Despite being comfortable with the filming crew and the action scenes, she felt nervous when it came to big explosions. Also, for it being her first film, Kobayashi having her debut acting role in the movie, Minamino saw a little bit of her in her debut days, and sought to help Kobayashi as much as she could, as she was accustomed to the action scenes with them. This would help, because both Kobayashi and Minamino encouraged each other to do better for their roles. Kobayashi was learning from Minamino's performances, and incorporating her own techniques into her own acting, and Minamino was striving to do her best for Kobayashi to learn from. Suffice to say, filming for the movie wasn't easy. Not only were a lot of the actors and actresses out of their comfort zone, but also a lot of sacrifices were made for the film. Minamino had to be present to be filmed in the movie. Despite this, between filming sessions, Minamino had photography shoots, magazine interviews, radio interviews. They would typically take so long that she would arrive home the next morning. Even at home, Minamino would practice somersaults and yo-yo tricks to prepare for the next day of filming. Minamino would just get sore simply just by running, due to the compounding time due to not having too much time for herself. Despite this, it's clear to everyone who's seen her at the time that she wouldn't have her life any other way. Despite being sore from just running, she would do all the stunts that the film crew would allow her to, except for exactly one, where the only reason why she didn't do it because of the risk and danger involved. It goes without saying that she worked hard and she was determined to do her best for the film. If you've seen the movie, you're surely aware of the iconic explosion scene where Minamino runs from the exploding Sanko Academy with a giant explosion. This is surprisingly not the one stunt Minamino didn't do. She is really running from an explosion in this scene. It was filmed on Christmas Day in Yaizu, Japan. It was a very cold day and Minamino was both cold and sore, so much so that she couldn't run as well as she would have liked in the rehearsals. A staff member said something along the lines of, "You must run as fast as you can. You can't mess this up." And there was a ton of pressure to get this scene just right. When actually filming this scene, she states that she didn't know how loud the explosion would be, and felt that a ton of small debris as she was running, which surprised her in the moment. But luckily for everyone involved, despite not being in tip-top condition, she nailed this iconic explosion scene. Rakuren no Door, or Paradise Door, is the main theme for the Sukeban Deka film. Sung by Minamino herself, the lyrics depict a girl looking at the world from a windowsill. Separating her from the world is the Paradise Door, keeping her safe from the dangers of outside. Staying behind the Paradise Door would mean she would be safe, but this would also mean that she would be alone. And wanting to meet new people and grow and become a stronger person, she makes her way outside and realizes that she can see all of the sky around her, unlike the small view that she had in her windowsill. The singer, now outside of the place she once called paradise, she feels uncomfortable taking her first steps in these new shoes in this new world that she's entered. The first steps that she takes in these new shoes hurt a little bit. However, she's willing to take each and every step if it means getting closer to you. Although Saki Asamiya may have been the star of the movie, the spirit of what makes the live-action Sukeban Deka series so special was Yoko Minamino, the Sukeban Deka of prior and latter, and the talented team behind them. The writer and stunt crew, special effects crew, storyboards, the director, and the actress's friends and family all encouraged one another and worked their best and played some role in making such a special movie. The Sukeban Deka movie may have not been possible without them, but with them, can create a movie such as this one. Although this movie may have been a goodbye to Saki, this is Yoko Minamino's first step in her new shoes at her career of many more films. Filming every day to morning to morning may be hard, but she was determined to make her film debut something to be remembered. There was hardship of having to do her own stunts, and being so close to explosives, but that was only a slight pain in her step. Pushing through all of that to reach the result she knew she could be proud of for the future. And as stated before, she's gone on record to say that she wouldn't have it any other way. Pushing through like Saki would. Her last uncomfortable step as Saki Asamiya, but her first step into making more movies. So remember, Saki forever. Thanks for watching the video. I wanted to take the time to announce that Sukeban Deka 3 is being fan-subbed by Geo9875, meaning those who can read English can enjoy the third installment of the live-action Sukeban Deka series. There are viewers in my retrospective videos asking for a Sukeban Deka 3 retrospective. However, I'll be waiting until the fan sub is fully complete to do my retrospective video, so let's all watch the show together. Then we can have a true retrospective together. Again, thanks for watching the video.
ゆきちゃん、そろそろ行ってみようか。
はい。きっかけは。
勝ちんでいいです。
はい。